Okay, ladies, we're going to talk about how you get your fur together, how you want it to look. This is Tina's, and as you can see, her rows go together nicely. And you see there's, if she's up about maybe 1/4 of an inch from the base, right here. And then when we put the head on it, where's her head? When we put the head on it, your fur has to come up high enough that when you put the head on, you don't have a gap. See where her fur ends right here? And there's a space here that's not furred. Your rows have to come up so when you put your head on, you're not looking at that unfurred part. So she looks pretty good. But if you look at this, when you put your fur on, the object is like this. You're going to put your silicone at the top edge and you're going to leave the top edge away from the base and push the fur down. And by pushing the fur down, see how all of her rows come together? And that helps to hide the fact that there are rows. You want it to look like it's just a bunny fur, just a shaggy bunny. And that's what he looks like. It goes together nicely. It's got a little shine to it from the glue. And he's looking pretty good. I think the body section on this is pretty much done.
Talk about
And
the color.
so, what color? Okay, so she's colored out her purple parts here. There's still a little bit of a purple hint here. If you want, after your silicone is dry, you can try taking a darker brown and go over that a little bit. Or you can just leave it because it's not that big a deal.
And it's going to tuck under.
Well, it won't tuck all the way under. Though this part here won't tuck under.
Right.
But if it bothers you a little bit, then take an even darker brown and before you fur it. And because the paper has a sealer on the top of it, what we found out is if you take a Tombow marker and put it down and then rub it with your finger and then wait a minute or so and come back and do it again and rub it with your finger, what it'll do is it'll break down the sealer on the paper and the ink from the Tombow will soak into the paper better. So you can play with it that way, but I think her body looks pretty good. I mean, it's a nice, even furred look. I mean, there are definitely rows, but there are rows in furring. But because the row above touches the row below and there are no gaps, it gives you that feeling that it's uniform, that it comes together as one furred body. So this is kind of how your body should look. Her body is sticking up about an inch. If you look at it from the side to the peak in the center, it's about an inch. And that's fine, because her shadow box is 1.25 inches deep. And so what we will do is let me take this. When we go to tuck him in right here, when we attach this part is not attached to anything. This is free floating. So what we'll do is we'll tuck the bunny into this little niche right here and pull our twig up, and if it sticks out too far, then we'll bend the wire. But the little bunny will just tuck right underneath here and sit right there. And it should work out pretty good. So this is the body part. This is 1 week's class. And then the second week is going to be the head. And the head right here, this is her base. It's wired. We've cut out the eye. And then if you take a round ball shaping tool from the back and go up in the hole and just go round and round and round inside the hole, what it does is it causes the paper to roll toward the back just a little. And that's all you want. You just want it to roll back toward the back of the print. And what that does is it gives it a nice smooth edge, and it just barely, you can just barely see it kicks it up right there. And that's what you want, because what we're going to do when the head is done is we've got that eye cut out, and we're going to take and round that eye and glue it in from the back so it pokes out on the front of the bunny and gives him a really nice eye. So the body fur is what you have for the first week in November. So this is all you're going to do is the body fur for the 1 week, and then we're going to do the head for the next week, because the head is a little more complicated. Okay, so as far as pieces and piecing it together and shaping the bridge of the nose and thing, there's a little more pieces to this. The body fur is pretty much straight furring. She has 7 or 8 pieces of fur on here. So you have 8 pieces of fur that are delineated on the cutting guide, and you have one whole bunny besides that. So if say you manage to chunk out a big piece of fur here, then you just find another place on the spare bunny and fur a little piece and just tuck it up underneath here with some silicone. So if you have any holes that are created because you zigged when you should have zagged and your fur falls out on the table, all you do is just cut a little filler piece and tuck it in with some silicone, and then you fill in your gap. But see, he looks really good. He's solid all the way to the edge, which is what you want. There's no holes in the fur. All the fur lays down nice and level, and that's what you want. Okay,